Good evening, everybody. The Music Fan is back, bringing smiles to the faces, knowledge to the people, and most importantly, music to the masses. Back with another Are You In? This time around, we're taking a look at the newest Breaking Benjamin album entitled Aurora. I've talked about Breaking Benjamin in length when I went over Ember with my brother a couple years ago. But if you don't know who they are a hard rock, post-grunge, alt-metal band from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Members including Benjamin Burnley on lead vocals and rhythm guitar, Jason Aurora on lead guitar, strings, and programming, Keith Wallen on rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Aaron Brutch on bass and backing vocals, and Sean Foyce on drums, percussion, and programming. Previous albums include Saturated in 2002, We Are Not Alone in 2004, Phobia in 2006, Dear Agony in 2009, Dark Before Dawn in 2015, and Ember in 2018. This band is a guilty pleasure of mine. Yes, they don't necessarily sound much different throughout their albums, but I enjoy the hell out of this band. My personal favorites are We Are Not Alone, Dear Agony, and Ember. Ember being a really surprisingly strong album from them, in my opinion. It hits harder, it's a little bit more diverse, and it has some of the best vocals from Ben Burnley in his career. Now, I recently saw Breaking Benjamin and Korn with my brother a few weeks back, right when this album dropped. So I was really excited to listen to this album and give my thoughts and my opinions on them. In such a short time, being able to put out a new album was really cool, and hopefully this album would have some new material that would go on in the concert. Fortunately, what I did not know that this was basically an acoustic album. Not necessarily a bad thing. I love a lot of their arrangements, so it would be really cool to see what else they can do. It's a re-envisioning of a lot of their songs off of Ember, Dark Before Dawn, and some of their fan favorites. I was saddened, of course, to find out that it wasn't a whole new album, but I still wanted to check it out and see what they can reimagine on this album. For the most part, I would say that they did a very good job on it. What I really enjoy is some of these reimagined arrangements add so much more depth to the songs. For example, So Cold. It's not necessarily a huge reimagining because there's a lot of depth to this song. If you were to pick a song that has a lot more complexity to it, I think So Cold definitely has that. But the use of woodwinds and strings adds a nice layer to what this song already is, and I love the idea of it. It reimagines a song that's over 10 years old. It's really cool to hear that. I absolutely adore the arrangement of Failure. It still feels like a Diary of Jane clone to me, but with the added vocals from Michael Barnes from Red, as well as the vocals and strings, it adds more life and beauty, and the bass and the drums hit harder this time around, in my opinion. Also love the arrangement of Red Cold River, which features Spencer Chamberlain from Under Oath. I love the harmony approaches on here. It adds such a nice touch, and again, breathes life into what was already a really cool song, in my opinion. Tourniquet is the best arrangement. So many more layers added, whether it's the hand drums throughout the song, or the harder hitting bass, or the understated strings throughout the chorus and outro. I really already enjoyed this song, but to me, this becomes the definitive version because of everything that's later around. Dance of the Devil is also a highlight, which gets some star power with Adam Gontier, out of all people, from 3 Days Grace Frame. I honestly wondered where the heck he was for such a long time. He's done such a great job with the back and forth vocals, and the strings fit perfectly on this song. It's a song that needed strings, and it's really cool that they added here. Dear Agony, also as a closer, is the perfect way to end the album. It doesn't have the active string parts, but it does add some depth vocally with Lacey Strum, the lead singer from Flyleaf. She adds such beauty in her vocals, in her harmonies, and it's really cool to end the album this way. I couldn't have thought of a better song to end the album. However, even with these ideas, there are some songs that still feel generic or unimagined. Angels Fall doesn't feel much different from the original song, which was already pretty straightforward to begin with. Never Again also does not feel much different from the original song. And to me, they could have done so many more cool ideas with Torn in Two, but the strings are never active enough until the bridge section. It's very disappointing as a reimagining, in my opinion. Finally, we have Far Away, which includes Scooter Ward from the band Cold. This is the type of song that all the naysayers of Breaking Benjamin will say, this is so generic like everything else. The pre-chorus sounds exactly like the chorus from Save Yourself, and the actual chorus doesn't sound much different from anything else they've ever really done. This is the biggest misstep on this album because it is their new song, but it feels so much like everything else that they have done. I can understand if you listen to this album and you're like, I don't really see the appeal, everything sounds the same. And again, this isn't necessarily an album you're just going to be dying to listen to. It's really good for an acoustic and a reimagined idea, but it doesn't add a lot that keeps you wanting to listen to it over and over again, especially after you have the original source material. Still, definitely worth a full listen, in my opinion, if you are a Breaking Benjamin fan. There's some really cool ideas on here and some ideas that add life to songs I didn't like or songs I didn't even know needed that reimagining. But this isn't going to get some naysayer to change their mind on Breaking Benjamin. I don't think anything practically will. I don't think there will be an album that they ever do that is going to make them change their mind. That is my time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you love or hate this album and your reasons why. Let me know other albums from 2020 you'd like me to review. Share this with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. That way I know you enjoy what I'm doing and want to see this channel become bigger and better for the future. I'll be back later on with another Are You In? Until then, this is Music Fan, and I'm signing off.